If you feel that your data is a mess, that your research is a mess, that everything is everywhere, and you now need to write your thesis and start writing, but you are like, okay, everything is a mess, everything is everywhere, I don't know how to put it all together, I don't know where to even start from because it's super overwhelming. So where do I start from? How do I break free from that procrastination cycle of not knowing what I need to do, not knowing how to do it, not doing it, feeling exhausted out of my procrastination, and so on. So if you are in that stage of your research, this video is for you. Today I want to talk about this phenomena in which you are finally done with your experiments, you're finally done with your data analysis, with the thing that you did, with your research, and now you are focusing on the writing part. But surprise, writing, you thought it would be the easiest part, but surprise, writing is probably the toughest part because it makes you face all of those results, all of those messy data, all of those figures that are all over the place, that are super messy, super unaesthetic, not pleasing to the eye, and probably understandable only to you. So this is a situation, I would say 100% everyone I've ever worked with, every single PhD student I coached found themselves into that situation of trying to make sense of the data prior to writing and then finding out it's a complete mess. So what are some actual steps that you can take? What is that you need to do before reaching that writing stage in order to make sure that the writing goes smoothly and that you are not in that procrastination, guilt cycle loop, and so on? So the thing that is, I would say, the bottleneck in this entire process is definitely not having a clear research story, like not having it clear what is it that you're trying to say with your research. So this is the first thing that I always ask my clients. This is the first thing that we always work on. So we start by defining what is the research story. So what is it that we are investigating? What is it that we investigated in this PhD? How did we do it? And what are the things that we found out about that thing? So this is the first and most important questions that you need to answer yourself, because that is going to be sort of the backbone of your narrative, of your thesis, of your paper, and so on. And then you are going to take all of that mess, all of that bunch of results, random thoughts, half-written drafts, you name it, code, whatsoever, all of that, and you are going to put it into that backbone, into that structure of the outline of what is it that my research is actually saying. And of course, chances are you're going to have to leave some things out. Chances are some things are going to have to be repeated. Chances are that it's not going to fit perfectly into the narrative that you want and you prefer, but you have to find a way and pivot a little bit and make it make sense at the end of the day. So if you are in that stage of your PhD, these are the exact steps that I take with my clients. This is the exact thing that I do, that I help them with. So if you are now in that stage of your PhD in which you feel that your research doesn't make any sense, if you don't know how to connect all of those random results, all of those things into a narrative that makes sense, into something that is coherent enough to call a thesis, a paper, or whatever it is that you're publishing, I want to invite you to schedule a completely free intro coaching call with me. I will leave a link down below in the description where you can schedule it. And in that call, we can discuss exactly where you're at with your science, with your research, in which stage of the writing process you are at, what are your struggles, what are your challenges, and also define what are the next steps of the process, whether that's taking some steps on your own or having my help on the way, and of course see if we are a good fit to work together. So having said that, I hope that you found this video useful, and as always, see you in the next few days in another video. Bye bye.